I am Kim Willard. I am Associate Professor of Theater at the University of Pikeville. I am a mom of 2 biological and 1 adopted children. I am a wife to a guy who told me last night I was lucky that I wasn't married to someone boring, as he was singing and cooking dinner. And I am a music minister, and I am an artistic director, and I'm a human being who's really trying to figure things out.
Well, we are really glad that you're figuring it out here. But I wonder, as a kid, did you think, these are all the things I want to do? Or as a kid, what did you want to do?
I wanted to be Batgirl for a long time, and I had a Batgirl costume, and I would get on my swing set at nighttime after dinner in my Batgirl costume, and I would pretend that I was flying. That was pretty good. I didn't get to be Batgirl. I wanted to be a teacher for a long time, and I would line up my dolls in my dresser drawer. I'd pull them out and put books in front of them, so they had desks, and I would give them little pieces of paper, and we would have class in my room. We did that a lot. I also was really big into hanging up doll laundry. I'm not sure why, because I really hate laundry now. But yeah, I wanted to be most of the time though, I wanted to be either a teacher or a professional singer or actor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in your life, things happen, right? In all of our lives. Did anything happen to really spur you onto this path?
Gosh, a lot of things happened. I started singing when I was 2. My parents would record me on primitive recording devices, not like the one we're using currently, because that was 100 years ago. But I loved to sing, and I would sing for anyone. I was that kid, Kim, sing a song, and my parents, they put me up in front of cousins and the aunts and uncles, and I would do, because I just loved to perform, because people were happy if I did that. So that became kind of synonymous with being on stage, just kind of in general. It made people happy if I was willing to share that part of myself, to get on stage and tell my own story, somebody else's story. So that kind of just went through the years, but I think probably the clincher was in 2nd grade. I know, can you believe I remember that? In 2nd grade, I was cast as Mrs. Milford in the Christmas play. And I had strep throat, and I missed 4 weeks of school right up until the play, and the teacher was calling my mom every day, is she coming, is she coming, is she coming, oh, do we need to replace her? Mom's like, no, she'll be off her medicine by then, she's coming. And I went in, and I got there the day we did it for the school. Finally, I was back at school, but the doctor let me come back, and I got on stage, and the lights came up, and I couldn't remember the first line, and I was stone, and I was I'm strangling, and I can't think of the first line. And then my teacher said, we Milfords. And then I had it. We Milfords certainly have a lot to be thankful for this year. I had it. and then I don't remember another minute of it, because I was soaring. And I was in that story, and I just remember that as being such a pivotal play, and it was nothing but you know what's really funny, my friend Jonathan Wyman, who was in my class and played my son in that play, sent me that script last year, because he found it when he cleaned his house. And he said, we were in this, would you like to have it? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. So he sent it to me, and that is the first line, and I still remember it. So that was kind of the pivotal moment. I knew I needed to tell stories. Crazy, right? 2nd grade.
Yeah. So here you are now telling stories in all kinds of ways. Mm-hmm. And you've played, just probably a variety of characters over all these years.
Yeah.
But as you dream and plan and shape, what is your dream job?
My dream job. Well, first of all, you always think, wouldn't it be great to get paid to do nothing? To just sleep till whenever I want to, and play with the dogs and drink coffee. But I think I would get bored, because I do that for 3 or 4 days in the summer, and then I'm itching to find something else. So that'd be cool for a few days, but I wouldn't want to do it long term. I would love to run an arts something, a theater, an arts place. I don't even know what I would call it if it has to just be a theater, because I'm passionate about music and art and storytelling and people finding their potential and how they tell their own stories. Crafts, I mean, that's a way of telling stories. Photography, I mean, there's so many things. So I would love to be able to facilitate that and not have to worry about money. So to be in a place where it was so supported and funded that I could help all of the people that live there to be able to do those things and not be able to say, we can't do that, we don't have enough money. Because I think that's been kind of a defining factor in our lives. We suffered a bankruptcy. We lost everything we had. I had a miscarriage. We lost a baby. We've lost a lot of things, and a lot of things that maybe money could have fixed. I know money doesn't buy happiness, but it does provide a certain security. So, and I've been a person without it, and I've known so many people who didn't have what they need to get what they needed. I would love to have enough money to make that happen. So maybe I just have all the money and I give it to them. I don't know. But to facilitate people being able to explore their potential in the arts without having to worry about price. That's not really a job, I guess. It's a dream. But like, I don't know if that exists, but that would be the coolest thing ever.
I like it.
Yeah, like, you want to do photography, here's a camera. Here's the money. Go do that, and then bring it back and share it with us and teach these people how to do it. I don't know. That would be so great.
That's beautiful. I mean, it really is. It's incredible, right? The excitement, the energy, and the passion for other people. And because you are, I mean, wildly gifted in all kinds of areas. You're a music minister, mom, you're doing all the, you're a professor, right? Now, the hard question. How do you bring that down to a sentence? What is your call or purpose?
I think the thing that I'm probably the best at, and the older I get, the clearer this has become for me. There was a time that I wanted to be all the things. But I don't want that anymore. I want other people to be the things that they are called to be. So I think the thing that I'm really the best at is helping people to listen to themselves, to listen to their story, to listen to their voice, to find their voice and to use it without fear. I'm good at cheering people on, giving them the push maybe to step out over the line. That's what I'm good at. That's the calling. My job is to get others to put their big toe in the water.
Do you feel like your job aligns with that call?
Oh yeah, every day. In a million ways. I mean, the theater mantra at UPike is be scared and do it anyway. Because I'm like, okay, great, you're scared? All right, go ahead. I'm watching. It's cool, be scared. It's all right. I mean, what's the point of saying don't be scared? It doesn't make you stop. It's like saying relax. Who relaxes when people say that? No one. Calm down. Oh yeah, that's effective. You know what I mean? So, yeah, be scared. Yeah. Be nervous. Be a mess. But do it.
You know, over the time that you've worked here, I've seen so many students come alive, right, as you teach and you just be you. And that's very inspirational. But on your journey, who is the person or the people who have inspired you to just to like know that this is what your life's about?
Gosh, so many people. I mean, I still remember Mrs. Estock, my music teacher when I was in elementary school, who let me sing my first solo on a microphone. And I thought that was the biggest deal in the entire world, my Wild Irish Rose. Because back then we used to celebrate all the holidays, right? St. Patrick's Day, I'm not even Irish, but I mean, that was a thing, right? She let me sing on a microphone for the first time in my life, right? And then, I mean, in high school, I had a band and choir director who pushed me to be my best and to play. I played the clarinet. I went to Allstate. I did all the competitions. I was scared. I hated doing it. But I loved doing it because I was scared. I don't like roller coasters. Those are the kind of risks I can deal with, like going to competition, right? I don't like being upside down and going too fast, but I'll go try to do something on a stage, for sure. Dr. Combs, my mentor in undergrad, Charles Combs, he continues to check in with me. I mean, years and years later. I graduated college, undergrad in 1988, and I still hear from him. And he still pours into me, and he'll see an article and send it to me. And he's a theater professor that has marked my life forever. My voice teacher in undergrad, Kathleen Arecki, who showed me that technique will hold you up when inspiration is not happening, right? That's important. That's a thing to know. My husband cheers for me no matter how weird things get. I mean, you know. And we've done this theater journey together, and we've been up and we've been down, and, you know, we've been everywhere. 33 years. I mean, there's something to be said for that. It's a big deal. And I'm lucky. And I don't take that lightly. I mean, there have been pastors who have prayed over me, spoken into me, believed in me. My parents. You know, I can't even, like, I'll leave people out. My adopted daughter who chose me to be her mama. I mean, that's the name of the game, though, right? Is that we need to pour into other people. Because we don't do this life by ourselves. And we're not, like, once a pastor used an analogy of people being like eggs. Not hard-boiled eggs, like eggs, right? Like eggs that break. And that we're so afraid to bump up against each other because we might crack and make a big mess, right? But so what? Somewhere in that mess, you know, you could have a great omelet or, you know, a really fluffy souffle. So why not risk it? I don't know.
So now, when we think about the people who've inspired you and just this incredible picture that you paint, someone might be watching this and go, oh my gosh, like, you are living the life I want. What did you do to put yourself in this position?
I worked hard. It's funny because people tend to think that theater, like, just magically happens. Or like any job, that when you make it look like the wheels aren't showing, they think, oh, they're just really good at it. But nobody's really good at anything. I mean, we are, but there's still work. And we don't show it, so I think it gets overlooked. You know, I think a lot of times students think, oh gosh, they can just do it. Those people can just do it, but there's nobody just doing anything that is successful, right? People who are doing things have put work behind that. They've cried. They've sweat. Maybe bled. I mean, they've sacrificed. I mean, I went to grad school in my 40s. I left my family at home and went to New York City for 3 years and did grad school and was a real student. Like, my daughter went to school in New Hampshire and I went to school in New York, and we FaceTimed, well, not even FaceTime, then it was still Skype, our family at home, and we went home on breaks. And that's the only time. Like, I would do my homework while my then 10-year-old was doing her homework on FaceTime together. I'd be at my computer and she'd be in the living room at home, and I'm watching her on the computer and we're talking, and I'm hanging out in the living room with her while I'm in my apartment in New York doing my grad school work. Because that's how I got my MFA. And that was the only way to do it in theater because there wasn't anything local available for me to do. And I wanted that degree. So that's a sacrifice. People don't see that part. They just go, oh, they're so good and everything's so easy. But I think all of us have that story, that we've had to sacrifice a lot.
So with the sacrifice and the hard work, a lot of people look to you and say, okay, you're a mentor, or you're a confidant, or a person I'm going to talk to before I audition. And when that student comes and says, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with my life, what advice do you have for them?
What do you love? What do you love? What makes you feel alive? What, when you lay down at night, makes you feel good about what you did during the day? Because if, you know, there's lots of jobs, and some people are great with just doing a job and going home, but for me, I have to have love. I work jobs, like I work jobs in college, like to make money and all that. And that's fine. And those serve a purpose. But to have a calling, to have a career, your heart has to be involved, I think, or I don't think it's that fulfilling. I don't think it's a calling then, it's just a job. So if you really want a calling, you have to think about what do you love? And then how can you become a part of what you love? What's your place in that story? How do you get to that? What piece of the puzzle are you? So for some people, theater's a lot of things. So like right now I'm a teacher, but I'm also an actor. And I'm also a student and a learner. And I'm also a producer sometimes. And I can be an accompanist. I mean, there's a lot of ways, a lot of pieces I can put into the puzzle. So what are the pieces you can do? What are the pieces you're passionate about? What are the ones you're most afraid of? I went to grad school for acting because that's what scared me the most. I can direct all day long. That doesn't scare me. Acting is scary. That's why I went. So find your love and then find what scares you and then try to learn and find your piece of the puzzle.
Mm.